Hit that button.
Yeah. All right. Party people in the place to be. This is already our 6th episode of How'd We Get Here, Joe. Do you realize that? We're like just
Yep.
flying through these, man, like Kleenexes.
Yep.
But yeah, we're back with another just smoking hot interview. He's got a Kickstarter that he is doing as well. We're going to let him introduce himself. Hello.
Hello. Well, I'm Steph Dumais. I draw horror comics, and I publish them for other people too.
Your publishing company is Bloody Gore Comix.
Yes.
You have, if people go on the site and visit that your website, you have quite the selection. You have quite a few books on there. So, ranging from one of the books you first published, when you started your publishing company, was the Zombie Commando one, right?
Yes, that's my own series that I started way back in '99.
99.
Yeah.
Wow.
It started off as an online comic, and it eventually went to print. And I worked with a now famous guy who was hard to get in touch with, Jake Carnes. So fans of underground horror comics know this guy is legendary.
Nice. Oh, Cookie's in the house. Hey, Cookie. Yeah. So right now we've got you here tonight. We're going to talk about your books, your publishing company, but we're also here to talk about, you have a new Kickstarter running at the moment.
Yep.
So why don't you talk to us about that for a bit?
Well, this Kickstarter is for a book that was previously published in Spain, in Spanish, and it was serialized some years ago by Eros Fantagraphics. But the creator, Raul, approached me because he already contributed to one of my anthologies, so he was familiar with what I was doing, and he asked if I was interested in releasing a collected edition. Okay. And of course I said yes. And the bonus thing is that there's some updated art that wasn't in the other editions.
Okay.
And but the condition was that I have everything retranslated because he did not like the translation, the previous English translation. Yep.
So he reached out to you after working together. That's cool. Yep. That's cool.
Yeah, very, very.
So how did the conversation go? Like, did you talk to him about it, and then he was like, "Hey, if you're interested," or how? Like, aside from him working on that anthology, how did this come about?
Well, when regarding the anthology, I reached out to him. Okay. And he accepted. He had a story perfect for the second anthology that I did. And we kept in touch because I'm a big fan, and I would give him feedback and tell him, "Oh, that's nice. Where can I get this like weird issue that you put out?" He did a lot of stuff for Avatar.
Yeah, and I know him from. Yeah.
Yeah, and we I guess we became friends online, okay. And when he knew that I also re-released some other books that were previously published by Eros. Which was the Spore Horse books. So he knew, so he was already comfortable with me doing this, and it was a perfect place.
Okay, so he saw your previous work, like in translating and bringing something over, and felt comfortable having you work on this. Nice. So you built the professional relationship just from working together, and now you're. Now you're doing a huge project, because this bad boy is about what, just under 200 pages, because it's the complete series, right? It's not like the other one was just an abridged, like a condensed version of it.
I don't actually even own the previous Eros run, so I'm not sure if there's more pages, but there's a lot more dialogue, because they really cut down on that. And they might have cut corners in some of the chapters. But this one is the complete thing. It's a straight up translation from the Spanish one. And
From the original
closest, the closest one to what I'm putting out would probably be the French edition that was released in France.
We got the link for this, Elizabeth Bathory Uncut, in the description. I do have to warn you guys, this book is not for gentle readers. Like, we got werewolf action going on. So,
yeah, definitely for mature readers. Not just mature. It's horror erotic, violent horror erotic comics. So, I mean, I know some people were turned off by like Red Room and stuff, and this I'd say probably fits the same, not the same genre, but the same category of maybe shock value. So people be warned. And if you're into that, man, you'll probably love this. So go check it out. Yeah.
I always say like fans of Faust will probably be into this. Yeah.
Who just did a Kickstarter not too long ago for the complete edition hardcover. Yeah. And then Black Mask actually put it out in the solicits for Diamond, which I think it should be coming out next month. So
I got the one from Kickstarter.
From the Kickstarter, yeah.
I have the video uploaded if you would like me to play it. The Kickstarter video.
Oh, yes, please.
All right.
I'll roll it right now. I love that track, man.
That's what I was gonna ask.
I know it's an artist I know who does synthwave versions of metal albums.
Okay.
So that was a track from Death, Crystal Mountain, but all electronic.
So just for listeners, just so you guys understand, like how I got used to Raulo Cáceres' art was he would do the gnarliest covers of Crossed.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you need to know. It's like he did the ones that you actually didn't want to look at. So just imagine him doing erotica
now. Yeah. When was this originally released in Spain?
I forget. Good question. I put down all the intro, but it's some years ago. To the point where he didn't like some of the art that he did, and that's why he redid some of it.
Okay, because it was that from that long ago that you want to redo some of the art because obviously you evolve, your style changes a little bit.
Okay. So you kind of have know a bit of the Avatar guys, Raulo, and I also saw that you kind of work with Juan Jose Reap too.
Oh yeah, so, we're friends too. He did a cover for one of my books.
Yeah, the Blood Queen, right?
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. I'm a total fan of these guys and super excited that I got to work with them.
Did you do any work at Avatar? I mean, I tried to keep up with everything they put out, but they put out so much.
Yeah, I would have liked to. I'd be down for it for sure.
I mean, like all they're doing now is that Jungle Fantasy book, though, right? Like I haven't seen them put out much in a long time.
Yeah, it's weird. At some point, they weren't like putting out any updates, and it seemed like they were like disappeared. They disappeared.
Yeah, Alan Moore quitting really like seemed to hurt them. It looked like.
No.
Because it seemed like around the same time they disappeared right after he quit, and like Providence wrapped up.
Maybe it's too bad because they put out some of my favorite books, including Crossed.
Yeah, they were.
What are some of your other favorites from Avatar?
I like the I'm blanking out. This always happens. Another Raulo book,
Extinction Parade.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I got all of his books, so I liked all of those. And one of my favorite books from Avatar as well, like all-time favorites, is Juan Jose's RoboCop.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome. So awesome.
RoboCop from Avatar. So that must be like
based on the original.
Yeah.
Based on the original.
Well, it's
Miller.
Exactly. It's super brutal.
Yeah. I'll have to look into that.
Oh yeah, check it out. It's well worth it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So your publishing company is Bloody Gore Comix, like we had mentioned before. You've ran a few Kickstarters, and we were talking before. One of your newer series you're working on at the moment is Renegade XL.
Yes.
Yeah. That's issue 1, issue 2. I backed those on Kickstarter. How many issues is that going to be? You said you were presently working on and off on issue 3. So how many issues are you planning on running the first arc for that?
Well, that's the first arc is 3 issues. So it'll wrap up with this, and it's like this it will keep the story self-contained, but it's like only like an introduction to the character. So hopefully it leads to more. So
nice. And on this one, you're working with Alex Gem. Is the writer. Who is he? Does he ever work on other comic books? Does he written other things? Is he someone you know from like maybe the film industry? Because I know you have a lot of ties to the Quebec film industries. So.
He's that's what he is. He's a writer for short films.
Okay.
And he produces films as well for a little company called Dans un Cercle.
Okay.
And he I was looking for initially I wrote up like a rough synopsis of what I wanted for the comic to be, but I wanted someone who had like more experience with, you know, like storyboarding, like I mean the like to see it as a movie.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was a perfect fit for that, and he's also way into martial arts and stuff. So he was great for helping me out plan out the action scenes.
And you actually took a break from working on issue 3 because you were working on something else that we were talking about off air. So you have a fan that actually commissions you to make him his own private comics. Is what you were saying. Yeah.
And this is I earlier I said the 4th one. This is actually the 5th one. It's this guy in Australia who got in touch with me a few years ago, and he asked me, like, he's super polite, and he says, I understand if you find this is too weird and you refuse, but could you just do some ladies boxing? And so he built up to it, and then next is they're stripping down. The next one they're ripping each other's like faces off, and
yeah.
I mean, it's fun to do. It's still fun, so that's why I'm okay with it.
So 5 issues. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's paid you to make 5 issues just for himself, like his own personal comic.
Yeah.
How many pages are they roughly each one?
Well, they're not 32 pages. They're like between 12 to 20 pages.
Still 20 pages. 12 to 20. That's a good chunk of comic there to pay someone to do your own personal comic. Nice.
And one of them is in full color.
That's what I was going to ask. Are they in black and white, or does he ask in color?
Nice. No, one of them is in color, and I think after that one he went back to black and white, maybe for budget reasons.
So he writes the stories. He just sends you the script, and you work from there.
Oh no, there's no script. He just describes a scene.
And you have to come up with a story and everything. And okay. Yeah. So do you have like reoccurring? Do you have reoccurring characters, or is it all like one shots, like new stories each time?
It's always new characters, and one of them, this one's weird. One of them is himself. He sent me pictures. Himself fighting himself.
Himself fighting himself.
Yes.
Wow, this is shit. Fuck, we should try to get this guy on the show. That would be crazy. Man, that would be that's insane. That's fun. I love that story. That's hilarious.
It's fun to do. It's not. It's weird, but it's not that weird, and I am comfortable doing it.
I mean, if he pays, I mean, work's work, right? And it's not something that's horrible or like overly tedious. You see, like people fighting and stuff like that. It's fun to draw. So
yeah.
And
like
if it gets gory, like you said, where they're just, beating each other up, brutal and stuff. So it's right up your alley. Yeah.
I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah. So super cool.
and the other commission I have is again just one huge massive fight scene. It's like a where's Waldo kind of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's pretty wild too. That must be fun.
Yeah.
Kind of doing fun.
Put as much as you can in it. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Another Kickstarter I backed of yours. I did the 2 Renegades, and I also backed the Slaughtered Kingdom. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I love that cover. The Jake Zion cover is really cool too. You got the pinups in the back. You have, I think Oleg did one.
Is that in this one?
Was it Oleg? Let me go back and see.
Oleg did one in XL900.
It was Al Gofa. Yeah.
Oh, Al Gofa, yeah.
Yeah, he does it. I love that one, man.
Yeah.
Like just the posture and everything, like the weight of his muscles, like fantastic work on that.
That was a trade because I did one for his book too.
Okay, cool. So you do that sometimes. You trade back and forth with people.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Which one of his did you do one for? Did you do one for Dagger or?
No, it's his book that's still not out. Orc Jim.
Oh, Orc Jim. Yeah, he ran the Kickstarter for it about a little while now, maybe 4 months ago or something. Yeah. And I did a fun. I drew some orcs like working out in the gym, but I made it so it looked like an 80s movie scene where you see these jocks working out. This one you worked with Mike Wasian. How do you pronounce his last name?
I'm not sure. I spoke to him like I speak to him all the time, but I don't know. He'll probably tell me after watching this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How did you find each other to work on this one?
That's interesting because I forget the first time we actually spoke, but we've been talking for a long time. We have a common interest in Dead World. It's both our favorite comics of all time, and so we talked a lot about that. And he was involved with the guys who were involved with Dead World. He wanted to bring it back and everything. He wanted. We were actually supposed to do like a project. He wrote a book like about the history of that series, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. And along the line, he like at some point he said, "I have this crazy story. Would you be interested in drawing it?" And when I saw that, I was like, "Right on."
Dead World. That's Caliber, right?
Yeah. Yes, Caliber, Arrow. Yeah.
Image put it out for a little while too.
Right? That's true. Yeah.
Our boy Fulci, that's like his favorite book.
One of his favorites, yeah.
I got the logo tattooed.
Dylan really likes that book. Dylan Corbisser as well. The Metalhead Samurai. Yeah. Heavy Metal Samurai. Yeah. He likes that book too. That's one of his favorites.
Nice. So yeah, Mike and I, we get along really well. We like the similar stuff, and Slaughtered Kingdom it was like kind of a departure for me because it's not just straight up action. There's like a whole crazy backstory to it, so that was nice to add some depth to what I usually do.
Yeah, because the first about 10 pages is setting up the story.
Yeah.
for when the comic kicks in, and then from there it just,
Yeah.
It's I wouldn't want to go to this place, man. Like, it seems like the carnival from hell. Yeah. Yeah, we have Mike. Mike's in the house, actually. Wason. Okay. For some reason, yeah, Wason.
Excellent.
That's how you pronounce his
Sorry,
last
man.
name.
I keep messing it up every time.
Yeah. There. Yeah.
I blame my French language.
Yeah, and when I backed it, I also got the T-shirt from it. That's cool with from the cover and stuff. Makes for a nice T-shirt. Makes for a nice print. Yeah, yeah. So your Renegade 3, is that you're going to be running that on Kickstarter as well?
Yep. Same. And what's fun about running a series on Kickstarter is that with each subsequent one, I can include the first issues for people who don't have them. So,
so they can catch up. Yeah.
For Renegade, was Empty Geist a big inspiration for that? The old anime OVA?
MD
Geist?
I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, okay. It's kind of similar.
Well, there's a bit of Gundam in it. I'm not that knowledgeable in manga. That would be my girlfriend. She knows all about that. But I know there's a bit of Gundam in that inspired Alex when he scripted the story, and cyberpunk. And but I didn't want a slick cyberpunk. I wanted a grimy. My own inspiration for drawing that was you guys know Necromunda from Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, I know some characters. I'm not
that whole universe. There's like there's like a sub I don't know how to call it, like a sub universe in that called Necromunda, and it's these like these street gangs. Okay. But they're like futuristic street gangs. That was my main inspiration.
So like a cyberpunk horror street gang type vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. I haven't played it, but I've seen like the add-ons or whatever that you can buy for Warhammer of that. Yeah.
Oh, and people mentioned Judge Dredd, and I totally see it.
Oh, for the Renegade one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of your books have that kind of
2000 AD flavor to it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big compliment. It's what I'm going for.
Yeah. So yeah, it has that flavor for sure. Like, and as we were saying before, if people go to Bloody Gore Comix, they could see all the selection of books you have there, which is there's quite a bit.
Ton.
I mean, a ton, because you work with a lot of people. So when did you start Bloody Gore Comix, and how did you manage to make all these connections and work with so many people? And because you have a very interesting selection of comics on your site, so people should go check that out.
Well, this started in around 2012.
Okay.
And it was like Zombie Commandos was previously published by a publisher I won't name because he ripped me off, so I don't want to give him publicity. But I decided to start this to self-publish my own series. And I was talking with Adam Geyer, who did Little Ashley Taker, another underground comic you might have come across at some point. And I asked him if he wanted to start a publishing thing with me. It didn't lead to anything. I just did it on my own. I ended up just doing it. And but one of his books was one of the first that I published. It's not on the website because I ran out of copies, and he kept the he didn't want to do reprints.
Okay.
So that's an interesting thing I have to mention. If you go on the website, you might come across books that are sold out, but if all the books are there, it's because all of these at some point I will reprint anyway.
You'll reprint. So if they're still on the site written sold out, eventually you'll send them for another like second, third printing, or depending on
exactly.
How well they sell.
Some of them are already at their third printings.
Okay, cool. Which is good. I mean, that means it's selling well. Yeah. There was that one book by Oleg Green. Raw. Yeah. I had that. I think I added that on when I backed the first Renegade book. Because you had add-ons where you could just get whatever you had available from Bloody Gore. So, is this new campaign? Are you going to have add-ons for all your catalog from the site as well? Okay, so people can go and if they back this one, they can go and just add on whatever they want from the website. That's very cool. So if you go and back Elizabeth Bathory, you'll see the add-ons section where you could just go get a bunch of cool Bloody Gore comics. One that Johnny was interested in when he went and visited the site was Cat Calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was mentioning that you had the trailer for the movie as well. He was saying, so yeah.
Cat Call, the comic was actually my idea because when Patrick made the movie, the movie started out as a succession of shorts, but he edited everything together into one big movie, and he was showing me some of his storyboards. I was like, man, this should be a comic. It's like that's a nice idea. Who's going to publish it? I said, I am. So I added a short story in it, like to participate because it was fun to do, and I did the cover as well. So that was a fun little project too.
And you actually have a part in the film. You were telling us as well, right?
Yeah. There's one scene where well, I mean, it's not spoilers because basically it's this woman who kills guys, like
that. Yeah.
Unrelenting bloodshed, and I just happened to be in her way in one scene. I don't even harass her. I just say hi, and she bashes my head in and saws me in half.
That's a pretty good scene, though. I mean,
yeah.
You're gonna go. You might as well go in style, right? So
it was fun, and the filming was fun. It was in this dank basement with shop tools all around. And all the fake blood was everywhere. And I say, oh, what a mess to clean. You say, hey, it's no problem. There's a drain.
Okay, so they just, break out the hose and just let it
down. Yeah.
Cool. And you've already you've worked with Patrick. What's his name? That's the director, right? Patrick what?
Patrick
Fortin. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've worked with him on other stuff before. Like he had another movie which you designed a T-shirt which I bought. To what level did you work on that project? Was it just to help promote, like with the T-shirt, or did you do some other stuff on that one?
Well, actually, the T-shirt is more for his production company.
The production company. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Cat Call is the only one I worked with for. Actually, I did a cover for. I forget the name. I forget the title. With these bug-eyed zombies, but I forget the title. I did one of the covers for that because he did like a whole bunch of DVD covers, like different ones from different artists. So that was fun too.
Cool.
Right on, dude. Variant DVD covers.
Yeah. There's like a dozen of them.
You actually worked with. Did you actually work with Kevin Eastman when you worked on those few Ninja Turtle books that you were working on, or was it?
He wasn't involved back then. It was just Peter Laird who was running Mirage.
Okay.
Eastman was already gone by then. So this was in the last few years before Laird sold to Nickelodeon.
Okay.
And I was working with Steve Murphy. Like he was
Steve
basically
Murphy was
the main
writer. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. I thought this would have launched my career, a commercial comics career. But then when he sold Mirage, it shut down everything. And I actually talked with other people who worked at Mirage, and they didn't want to say anything, but they were disappointed too.
Yeah, you get to work on a big title like that, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, one of the indie darlings one of the biggest indie darling stories of all time, right?
Oh yeah, it's the perfect story. Yeah.
So, that one with the cat though, woo! I almost cried on that one. That was kind of kind of a touching story, you know.
The Path,
yeah, The Path. That one I was like, man, that's yeah, that was a good one. Anyway, yeah, we read those a little bit, yeah. So man,
I did a few of those. I did 3 issues actually.
3 issues, okay.
But the one you showed the cover was the only one I did the full book, including the cover.
Okay.
Yeah, the really weird story about Leonardo. Yeah, I liked it, but it was pretty different. Like I only read your issues. Like I got to check out the rest of the series to see kind of like how the rest of it was popping off, because it's quite different than a lot of the other Ninja Turtles I've ever read.
Well, the main, without going too much into it, but the main storyline, like the main canon continuity in Mirage when it ended, was that Earth became like an alien hub, like a hub in the galaxy. So there was all these aliens coming to Earth, and the Turtles like, hey, we can come out of hiding. People will just assume we're aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
And I thought that was weird because it took away from the whole like hiding in the shadows ninja thing.
Yeah. Oh well. Hey, people try things. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. And Raphael became a dinosaur.
Oh, okay, like he evolved into a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess I could, like, hardcore fans would probably be like, "What the fuck are they doing?"
I heard when Laird brought it back, it got really sci-fi. I never really checked that run out. Like,
yeah,
I'll have to get into
he
it.
focused a lot on that aspect. The Utroms where it played a big part. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. But like a lot of people, I like in terms of visuals, I still prefer Eastman, more gritty.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he likes that kind of stuff. Like I'm sure he must enjoy like the books you make. So for sure.
Yeah. Well, even Laird himself gave me feedback. I met him once, and he said he liked I had like the spirit of indie comics, so that was a nice compliment.
Oh, there you go. From basically a comic legend. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get back to your Kickstarter, man. You got 19 days left. You're at, what did we say? You're at 50% with 19 days left. You're going to be doing this in a hardcover.
It's about another one.
Oh, there you go. And you're gonna making this into a hardcover edition. Let's see. Did you have a soft cover? Yeah, soft cover edition as well. So people on a budget, I mean, if you're on a budget, you even have a digital pack as well. So digital, you got the soft cover, you got the hardcover, you got a bunch of options for backings. So you got something for every kind of budget. So I mean,
you can get a signed sketched edition from Raulo himself.
Yeah, you have a bunch of tiers in here, so it's pretty cool. And what I see here is for people on a budget that this is really something they'd be interested in. I mean, if you read digital comics, that's a steal. That price is a bargain compared to most Kickstarters I see. So your pricing is very fair. I mean, you're not asking crazy prices for this book. I mean, it's a 200-page book, so it definitely fits the mold for the industry. Like if you buy books of that size from a comic shop or whatever, so you're right in those price ranges. So it's not like you're trying to make like a thief and take a a killing. Yeah.
It's not the aim is not a profit. It's really a labor of love. If I made this for money, I wouldn't be doing horror.
Yeah, probably not. Especially this kind of book as well. I mean, it's not. It has a cult following, but like for mass appeal, like what people like to use the word normies or whatever you want to say. But like I mean, it might be a little too.
A little too. Just go ahead and say just a little too. Look at the picture.
Yeah, a little too maybe a little too graphic for some people, but I mean, I dig it. I mean,
the art is beautiful, regardless of the content. Just the art itself is worth it.
Yeah, like I love a good black and white comic. I've said it many times, and I mean, you got to appreciate a good black and white comic. And from the sample pages you sent, I mean, his work is definitely out there. It's fun.
Even the cover wasn't. The cover wasn't supposed to be black and white at first. It was supposed to be like an image he had already done, but I really wanted something new for this. And he said, "Well, I did this commission," and he showed me the image that you see now for the cover. I said, "Yeah, but I mean, we'd have to put it in color." He said, "No, keep it in black and white." And
With just a splash of red is like, oh, love that.
That was my idea. I said, I can't just go black and white. I'll put a splash of blood on it. And for the hardcover, I'm doing a spot varnish. Like if
with the red will be a spot varnish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. That's cool. I love that. You know, when you do little touches like that, like these little design touches to a book, just I appreciate those type of things. I love it. Like spot gloss is always appreciated on a book. You have what in the rewards here? We have you have the stickers that people can get. What else do you have going in there?
I have some here. These are the stickers.
Some Cannibal Corpse looking shit right there.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's your thing, like, go back this book. You won't be disappointed. I'm not. Let's. If people aren't familiar with it, let's go in. I know Johnny knows a little bit of the history of Elizabeth. Yeah. So let's give people, because this was based. It was a real person in history, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
She was where like a lot of the vampire myths come from, and was considered like one of the first serial killers, or kind of, and one of the first women serial killers. And like the motif of like hanging a person above you and like slitting their throat and bathing in their blood, like she legit did that. Like that's like kind of what she's historically known for. That's like taking the Bathory, you know what I mean? And then you got like black metal bands named after her. You got like a lot of metal musicians period named after her. I think the guy that sings for Donna Ashes is also named Bathory. So there's a lot of metalhead, a lot of metal influence from her.
So a lot of like vampire mythos is inspired from
oh, definitely. There's
the atrocities that this woman had performed when she was alive.
I wouldn't be surprised if is she written as a vampire in this book.
Well, she's a straight up vampire in this. What's interesting about this book is he used a lot of historical references. There's even like maps sometimes and references like other historical figures. But at the other end of like you have like this based in truth, and at the other end of the spectrum, it's full on vampires. Like there's
werewolves,
there's werewolves, perverted werewolves.
yeah.
There's like satiricon kind of creatures. There's a lot of supernatural elements, and but they're all based on actual myths. You know, they all have roots in like historical stories.
Yeah, like people believing in witches, this and that from back in the days. So it's all based on those kind of misguided beliefs and what actually existed compared to what was actually there. Yeah.
So in a way, you could say this is like it would kind of be like a history book, but for like back in those days, it's literal. You know literal, what I mean?
Yeah, people would believe it as
it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me think like in 300 years, are they going to make comic books about magic Charlie Manson's flying around like and having stuff. I mean, or like
Imagine Homolka in 300 years.
Yeah. So, like Johnny said, so she's considered maybe the first woman serial killer, you're saying?
I think she has that distinction, or at least historically known.
And
like,
where did this take place? And like where was this
Hungary.
rooted? This story, Hungary. Okay.
Yeah.
And why did what was was it Raulo's interest in this? Would just he thought it'd be like a sick story to retell, or is he like a bit of a?
There's always been an innate sexuality to her character in U.S. history. So
he's into like a Marquis de Sade, so there's like some of that has to do with it. He actually did like comic versions of the Sade stories. So those are sick. I wouldn't publish them because they're not straight up horror. They're just full on porn comics, but
porn comics.
But I think his reason. I mean, I think we could do an interview with him. You could do an interview straight up with him maybe at some point. I don't know how well he does in English, but I'm sure he would have a whole story to tell about it. But he explains some of it in the intro, though.
Okay, in the book, like there's an introduction by him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a foreword. There's some like additional material at the end as well. So the book is really a nice package.
So this will probably be the most like explicit book you'll probably have in your lineup of books to date.
Yeah. Aside from well, not even. It will be totally. I have some hardcore stuff in the anthologies. Spore Horrors was the most erotic, I guess, inclined stuff that I published. If you're turned on by monstrous women. but this one will be like I'm really, it's even more sex oriented than Faust, for people who know that, because that had a strong element of that as well. But this is
more full on, right?
Yeah, it's full on. It's full on with a lot of violence and blood, so it's a perfect. I like this stuff.
Well, it'll definitely add a interesting book to your catalog for your publishing company. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And will people only be able to get this through the Kickstarter, or are you going to do a larger print run and sell it on the site as well afterwards?
Oh, I will have copies on the site as well. Okay. My plan is to have like at least double the books that I sell through Kickstarter, so that I can sell online. And they'll be available beyond the website in conventions as well.
Okay, cool.
So I'm still not doing the American conventions. I had sent my plans, but I'm still doing my run, my little Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, Quebec City run.
Okay.
That's
your usual stomping grounds.
Yeah, I can drive to all those places. So
yeah.
Boston's
only a 3-hour drive. Yeah. New York's 6. So I mean, you could hit a few big ones going south as well.
Yeah, I could. I'd have to figure out the logistics of crossing the border with like stacks of books, but
because there's a few good indie comic cons around like Boston area. I know there's like that's more focused on indie comics and stuff, and I've heard it. Yeah. I've seen a few people post about them. They said they've had great turnouts because it's more like a straight up comic convention. It's not like Comic Cons where it's like full of celebrities and stuff like that. Yeah. People that go there are there for the comics. The tables are cheaper. you probably like people actually go there interested in meeting comic creators and stuff like that. So
I should definitely have to get off my butt and cross that border.
mm-hmm.
And I have people who ask me as well, like in the States, who keep asking when I'm coming over, and so I have to do it. But not only comic conventions, but also horror conventions.
Oh yeah, it's true. That's another great place that because all your books, like you said, all have a horror element, or most of them have a horror element to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing one tomorrow, as a matter of fact, right here in Montreal, Requiem Fear Fest.
Okay, where's that? Just in Montreal, or?
Yeah, it's at Ruby Foos.
Okay.
Right across the Orange Julep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right off just off DeCarry.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's Montreal's biggest horror convention.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be there tomorrow, and unfortunately, I won't have the Bathory book, but I'll have the rest of my books there.
Is it already fully translated, or is there still work to do on that?
It's fully translated, but I'm not done actually putting down the text and all the pages. Okay, that's the most tedious part. I halfway through it, I was like, what did I get myself into? Copy pasting and in the speech bubbles and like trying to make them fit. Sometimes there's like a little extra white space. Sometimes the text fills it up. It's quite a task.
Not the funnest project.
No.
Trying to fit the lettering into the speech bubbles.
Yeah. Because I'm used to, like, if I'm working on my own comics, I build the speech bubbles around the text.
Okay, like you put a text and you make the appropriate size and stuff. Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
I've tried to translate comics on my own, and it's not fun. Like,
yeah, Johnny likes a lot of European stuff, and a lot of stuff isn't translated, so. Yeah, we've had a little conversation about it before, where he's tried to.
I have a stack of French books that I bought and tried to translate. Like some of them are actually Japanese because you guys get a lot of French get a lot of manga that doesn't get translated to English that I want to read too. So I have a bunch of that too, and I tried to do it with online translators. It just does not work, people. As sad as that sounds, man. I was like, Joe, can you read me my comics, man?
Well, I guess I'm lucky because I can read French, because it's my first language. So I have I honestly, most of my collection is like American comics, so a lot of English, but I have a nice little collection of French. But also I lived in Europe for a while for work, and whenever I visited a country, I would go out of my way to find comics from there, like local comics. So I have a whole bunch of comics I can't even read.
I know how that feels, man.
So, Bloody Gore Comix, is this your full-time gig? Do you have a day job? How is this going? Because I know a lot of creators, they have the day job, right? But has this become like a full-time thing for you, or?
It could be. It's my day job is like holding me back from doing this full-time. I would be a lot more productive with my comics if I was doing this all the time, but I'm not quite there making as much money as my day job. So
okay, gotcha.
And I have a little family, and I have a kid, and it's
security.
I want the stability.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect.
But I'm lucky. I'm lucky in that I have a job that gives me the time to do it, and
it's flexible, very flexible.
And I'm not exhausted. I used to have a creative job, like a day job, where I used to be a graphic designer.
Okay,
but now I just code. So in a way, I found that means I'm not drained of creativity at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So when you do get to your comics, you're more motivated because you've been itching to get at it, as opposed to all right, I've been and I know how it is. I've worked in creative field before, and sometimes you get projects that are just you're not into it, and it just discourages you creatively from doing anything else. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. You just want to throw your computer in the garbage and just go on do something else in life, you know? Because you're working with non-creative people, and trying to work with a non-creative person sometimes is like, it's like water and oil. It just, for some reason, it just doesn't work. Yeah.
I just sometimes I would get frustrated, just because I would try to put in a bit more creativity in something that doesn't need it.
Yeah.
And I would just like, Steph, we don't have time for this. Fine.
Yeah, I've heard that. Job interviews when I was out of school, like you bring your portfolio and they're like, "Oh, you it's great stuff, but you're too creative, so we don't want to hire you because we're afraid that after 3 months you'll get sick of it and quit." And I was like, I need a job. I gotta pay rent, you know, like I just want to fucking work, you know. And they're like, "No, you know, like," and I was like, "Fuck, man."
No, man, we could see you got an imagination in there. Kick rocks.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, fuck.
We don't need you dreamers here, man.
I learned really quick that you have to have different portfolios for different jobs. You can't just show all your stuff. You've got to really customize your portfolio to be geared towards that job. Like if it's like a magazine that does, or newspaper thing that does mostly layouts, then show mostly like Quark Express. Well, back in the day, Quark Express was
I remember that.
Show a lot of that, you know. Don't put too many actual illustrations or too much graphic design stuff in it, because they'll be like, you'd
find my LinkedIn page really boring.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you go to school? Did you go to school in art anywhere, or?
I just did public college arts.
Okay.
Cégep.
Wait, Cégep, yeah.
Yeah, so all plastic. So that's the only higher education I have.
Yeah.
Everything I do for like my day job, I learned on my own afterwards.
Okay.
Which was a challenge in itself, and it's sometimes. It sometimes makes me panic when I see these like kids coming out of university and they already know what took me 10 years to learn.
Yeah.
But that's how it is.
And your work, do you work mostly digital now? Do you still do traditional? How do you work on?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Up to now, everything's on paper. You know, see the blank wall behind me? It's usually filled with all the current pages I'm working on. Unfortunately, I took it down because I was making space for the next one.
Oh, but I thought maybe because you had stuff there that you didn't want like people to see.
No, that's fine. There's no text overlays, so. Okay. But the thing is, I decided, I'm gonna try and make a full comic digital. I had like the commissions I do digital, some of them. Good point there. The comment. But I had a Wacom, which I just used for shading and coloring, and I wasn't comfortable to draw with it. But then I got a Surface Pro. Okay. And I tried drawing. I was like, oh, this works, and I started getting into it. And Renegade XL 900 will be my first full digital comic.
From issue 1 all the way through to issue 3.
No. Issue 1 and 2 are on paper.
Are on paper, okay.
And issue 3 will be digital. Maybe I'll do some like a few pages too, because in Kickstarter some people like to have original art. So I might do a few pages by hand. But it's a weird debate. Some people are against it. They say like, oh, you're gonna lose the style. But what I found is that I'm more free. Because there's only so many ways I can control a marker. Some people use brushes. I tried that and I hated it. So I always came back to markers, but now digital, I can actually ink as if I was using a brush. So I like that. And it's not messy.
I remember back quite a while back when I first started following Daniel Warren Johnson. He did a lot of stuff digitally as well. I saw him do a few things, and then you can tweak it like without having to like it's so much easier to go in and tweak things after with the digital. I mean he does
at first. Well, at first, the danger is that because you can zoom in infinitely, you can go crazy in details that normally you wouldn't do. So at first I got into that trap, but I quickly adjusted, and I think I'm about there. I think I've like really keen eyes might notice a difference in my line work, but I don't know. I like it. That's true. I can't see the marker fumes. The main objective of going digital for me is I want it to make me faster. I'm not there yet, but I would like to draw a page faster. It sounds weird maybe, but personally, if I can draw more pages faster, I mean I can do more comics. So
yeah, exactly. Because like you say, you have a day job, so the more you can fit in with your allotted time, it would be, like you said, just get books out faster. You could do your Kickstarters, turn around quicker.
Yeah, and you've seen how I pack details in my pages, so I like really filling the pages. So if I can do that faster, by keeping the quality, that's the best thing. And I think the more I use it, the more I practice with the tablet, I think I'll get there.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So you're slowly transitioning or trying to transition to digital.
Yeah.
So Slaughtered Kingdom, that was all drawn on paper.
Yes. Okay. I have.
There's some beautiful pages in there, man.
Thank you.
Do you just sell them the originals yourself, or do you have a like some people will go through a third party, like an agency where they just send all their original art and they take care of it? Or
I haven't tried that. I sell them on my own. I bring them with me at conventions. Yeah. Give me a second. I'll just get the book.
Yeah. Oh, there's some. Was this the page you showed earlier, Johnny?
I don't think I showed that one.
That one's pretty fucking cool too. Yeah, like that. Fucking killer. There's some beautiful pages in this one.
I put it in my convention box, but I wanted to take out the original pages. Yep, those are 11 by 17 pages.
Yeah, 11 by 17. So that's pretty impressive. When you do you sell any of the originals on your Bloody Gore Comix site?
I used to put them up there. It didn't seem to work, but it works in conventions. But online, I don't know. It didn't work. It didn't generate interest. So I just took them down, and I just concentrate on selling stuff in conventions now.
At conventions, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if someone writes to me, it can certainly be arranged.
From DMs. And if people want to follow you on socials, you go under your publisher name, Bloody Gore Comix. So if you want to follow Steph, just go under Bloody Gore Comix on. You're on Twitter. You're on Instagram. Are you on any of the newer ones like Threads and Blue Sky?
Blue Sky. Not yet. I mean to do it.
We'll hook you up after the show. Me and Joe got tons of invites.
Yeah, we have 6 each. We couldn't even give people money to take them.
But I concentrate on Facebook and Instagram for now.
Yeah.
It works well. Twitter, I'd never bother posting there, especially now.
Yeah, I started on Twitter. That's how I found a lot of people like Johnny and stuff like that. That's how we connected. It
used to be fun, man. It used to be great. 2 years ago. Not gonna lie.
And then
back in the day, I was on Usenet.
To tell you the truth, it started getting shitty before dude even bought it. To tell you the truth, I stopped using it kind of before, even.
Yeah, same here. Just the back and forth for people fighting and stuff, it just got stupid. Anytime something comic came out, you'd always have the extremes, right? Of people shitting on stuff or just over boasting it, where to the point where you're like, I'm just sick of hearing about this.
Yeah, there's a lot of books that I legit love that I just stopped reading because they just got so overhyped that I'm I don't want to be even.
Or is it the case of sometimes when you get to know the creator, you're turned off by his creations? Or
I haven't had that really happen to me yet. There are a couple of people I met on Twitter that like were not as cool as I would hope they'd been when I talked to them, but I still enjoy their writing. And some that have actually treated me pretty badly, and I still enjoy them. So I don't know. I might take place in one of Raulo's books, man. Like,
Raulo, he happens to be a nice guy. Juan Jose as well. Other creators, I won't name names, but other creators, I was disappointed when I got to know more about how they were, like their politics and everything. It was like, oh, I didn't know you were like that. Oh, I still like your comics.
Yeah. And slowly I converted to Instagram. I find Instagram is more about the actual content, like creating. Yeah. It's less about your political views and stuff. It's more about the actual art, the stuff that you're putting out. It's more about the books. It's more about whatever it is, you know. So you get less of the people coming in and nagging and this and that, and it's more about just the content, what's out there, and people just sharing, being creative. It's more geared towards being creative and sharing creative things than expressing your personal views and stuff like that. So
I think I've been lucky. Well, so far, I don't want to jinx it, but I've been lucky. I didn't get into not trouble, but like people being like jerks with me for my work, or or getting. I've gotten into arguments online, but outside of the whole comics thing, but like within my own, like in the Bloody Gore Comix pages or the groups, the comics groups that I follow. People are super nice. They're chill. So I think I'm lucky for that.
Yeah. Instagram is way better I agree for all that. Although Facebook, I'm not too sure. Johnny's told me some stories about Facebook, so I haven't used Facebook forever. Yeah.
Sometimes,
I tell you, I've been kicked off Facebook since like 2014, dude. Like,
that's what Johnny was saying. Yeah, Johnny hasn't had a great history on Facebook.
Oops.
Yeah, got the boot. Yeah, man. And another interesting thing Johnny noticed is the T-shirt you're wearing before we went live. Yeah. Johnny loves that T-shirt, and he loves that zombie shark fight scene, which I didn't realize when you guys were talking is that it was a real shark that the dude went in the water with. I didn't realize that till you guys mentioned it. I was like, damn, that's hardcore, man.
Apparently, they fed the shark. Like, they made sure it was fully fed, so it wouldn't be hungry. And I guess they sedated it a bit, but still. It's crazy.
Yeah, because you could drown, you could get bait, there's so many things.
That guy gets right up on it, and like he tears it looks like he tears a piece off of it. And I don't know, like if they had a fake shark, it didn't look like it though. It looked like he got right up.
No,
on
he didn't bite in it. He didn't bite in the actual shark, but I mean, you saw blood in the water, and having blood in the water around a live shark, that's crazy.
And jumping on a shark too and stuff like that must be like it reacts, right? Like it, so. You don't know how, especially in a wild animal, you don't know how they're going to react to something.
You'd have to pay me Tom Cruise money to do that, man. Like, I'm not kidding, dude. Like, but that poor Italian stunt man, he got like $50 to do
it. Like often you have trained animals and things can go wrong, and this is like I've never heard of someone being able to train a shark. Yeah, exactly. So that's just crazy.
I like how there's all these animal-centered stories around horror films. There's always like the craziest one, like the cruelest one is Cannibal Holocaust
with the turtle.
Yeah, jeez.
I hate that. Like, I would be okay to knowing that those people got ate after seeing that turtle scene. Like, I would not be sad to find out that the fears about that movie were true in the 70s. You know what I mean? Like, I legit hate those people. Like that legitimately was horrible.
Yeah. Well, things change, right? We evolve, and sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Hopefully, for the better most of the time. But
I hope so.
I mean, like aside from that, like I understand what the guy was doing. Like I get the point of the film. I would really like to like Cannibal Holocaust. It's just like made it a little too hard for me.
Yeah. One question I like to ask creators that come on is, when you draw and you work, what do you have music playing in the background, or do you have earbuds in? And when you do, what's like your go-to? What do you like to listen to when you're drawing all these brutal books, or boxing ladies that are beating the shit out of each other for some Australian dude?
Well, it's like it's like a half. Sometimes I put a movie on. Sometimes I listen to music, and often it's music if I'm drawing, like not in this room, but I'm going like outside or something, and I have my earphones. For the past like 2 or 3 years, I'm really into this Switch House thing. I love it.
Switch House, what's that? Do you know what that
Witch
is?
House.
Oh, Witch House. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a mashup of genres. It's like like people who don't know it, they find it's cheesy because it has all these satanic themes, but it sounds cool. And the artists that I like sample horror movies a lot.
Okay.
And so you hear like all these sayings from horror movies. It sounds nice.
That they sample into the songs. Okay.
And the beat is it's like a really slow beat. It's like a creeping beat, and there's like a trap element to it, like trap music without the rap. It's just the sounds. And I'm really into music too. So I did a whole bunch of album covers for bands back in the day, and I do flyers for raves and stuff. So I get really passionate about the music. So these days, that's what I'm into. But I listen to different stuff. Also metal. I'm going to see Cannibal Corpse and Gore Guts next week.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the following weekend, I'm seeing Tangerine Dream. So 2 different genres totally.
Damn, dude, Tangerine Dream, that's sick.
Yeah, I love that. And
which venues are those at?
Both at the same venue, Olympia.
Olympia? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually never been there.
I've never been to a show there either. So I've seen a few shows like come up on my Instagram for Olympia, but I've never been to a show there.
Most of the shows I go to are smaller venues like Fofone Electric or Fairmount. Those are nice. I saw Atheist and Cynic. I don't know if your viewers, some people know these bands, but there's like metal bands from the 90s. So it was like a trip back into my teenage years to see these bands live.
Yeah. There seems to be like a nice resurgence of these 90s bands coming back and doing like tours. So
yeah,
if you missed them the first time around, then like the nostalgia that you can go back and just catch them, which is pretty cool.
Well, one of the bands I mentioned, Cannibal Corpse and Gore Guts, but there's also Mayhem.
Okay.
Oh,
Mayhem. I can't believe I'm going to see Mayhem live. That's crazy.
Cannibal Corpse, is all still the original members, or what's the lineup like these days for Cannibal Corpse?
These days, I didn't keep up, but it moved a lot through the years.
Yeah.
But
it's always interesting when they come back. Like, what kind of lineup do they have? Which original members are there? Or
Well, when I mentioned Atheist. When I saw them, the only original member was the front guy. The singer.
Okay.
Yeah. It was all these young guys with him. And throughout the show, it was awesome because he was like impressed by his own band. He was singing and looking at the guys like, check these guys out.
Well, Mayhem, it's only the drummer, right? Hellhammer,
is
whatever
it?
His name is. Yeah, I think he's the only guy that's still in the band.
Cool.
And Gore Guts is Le Clamé. This I don't know if you're familiar with this band. It's a Quebec band.
Okay.
And I'm mentioning this. I'm going to see them, but I'm mentioning them as well because I did a comic on them.
Okay.
There's, yep.
Is that available to purchase anywhere, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a publisher called Sawin, Sawin. They put out an anthology, biographies of the 5 biggest metal bands from Quebec, and
Okay.
for each band they asked the different artists, and I picked Gorguts because that's what
Okay.
I listened to as a teenager, and
Okay.
it was awesome because they put me in contact with the band, with Luc. He actually came over to my home.
Oh, that's cool.
What's the name of the album so I can flash the cover up?
Latest album, I forget the name. Just look up Gorguts. What's the latest album?
That anthology comic, is that available in English or is it just in French?
It's in French. But I think there's plans to translate it in English as well. The bands that are covered are Voivod, Gorguts, Fortress, Anonymous,
and
Fortress. Is that the French Canadian black metal band?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love that band, dude. Like James Port La Rebellion, or however you're supposed to say that, man. I love that record, man. Like I put that
and the artist who does the story for Fortress, he's like one of the most famous Quebec artists right now. Christian Canel, who did the Magog train tragedy story.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And he just did a Lovecraft comic as well.
Okay.
So it's a good book. I wish I should have thought of showing you. Do I have it close? The cover?
That's something I'll definitely look into. I'll try to find that.
Yeah. I should have thought of this before. I would have sent you the cover.
Yeah.
So it's called Les 5 Grands Groupes Métal du Québec. So I'll send that to you.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. So that you can pick up n'importe quelle librairie. These are bookstores, librairie in French. So, all right.
Yeah. This one has like mass marketing, so it's nice.
So it should be easy to find. Nice. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Unlike my trashy Bloody Gore Comix.
Well, you have a website where people can go get it, or on Kickstarter. So, speaking of which, if people just jumped in, your Kickstarter is running now for Elizabeth Bathory, UNCUT. So it's the complete edition. You can get it in hardcover, softcover, digital. It's a Raulo Cáceres all the original stuff with some redrawn pages, like you said, because he doesn't like how some of his earlier art looks, so he tweaked it, touched it up to make it up to his standards. So you can go on Kickstarter and back that now. And in the add-ons, you have the whole catalog that's available for Bloody Gore Comix, so you can pick up some extra comics there too. So go check that out on Kickstarter. Steph Dumais, Bloody Gore Comix.
I must mention, you won't see the extra books on the add-ons right now. It's once the campaign is over, and then when I get like the shipping details and everything, you get access to all those add-ons.
Perfect. Nice. And like I said, you definitely have an interesting lineup of books for your publisher, so people will be able to find something that'll interest them for sure.
Yeah. Well, just said that Bloody Gore's not false advertising, all right? Like his books live up to the title name.
Yeah.
Well, my slogan is you can judge our books by their covers.
That's a good slogan. Good one. Yeah. So, man, Steph, it was a pleasure talking to you. We've met a couple times, but to actually sit down and have a proper conversation, fantastic. Dig your work, dig your books.
Thank you.
Man, hopefully you keep it up, and you'll have plenty more coming soon for us to read. Like Renegade, you're working on at the moment. So the final chapter, book 3 of the Renegade XL 900. Do you have an estimated time when you'll start the Kickstarter, or it's still up in the air at the moment?
It's still up in the air, but I'm aiming for spring.
For spring? Okay. Good enough. Good enough.
Man.
Yeah. So, man, if you want to follow Steph, his work, his company, it's just under his publishing name, Bloody Gore Comix. You can follow him on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those socials. So, man, once again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Good luck on the campaign. And, man, I mean, not much more to say. I mean, your work speaks for itself. So, yeah. So, people, man, go check out all his stuff.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be back on Sunday. We're going to be doing an afternoon episode. It's going to be kind of a short one. We're going to introduce our new theme song. And we're going to talk about the nice young lads that made it. And, and just throw out some credit and just play it because like we think it really slaps. So join us Sunday at 4
p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Pow. Be there.
All right, man. Have a great weekend, everybody.